Hello, Pangaea, and welcome to the community roundup video for round 2. I just want to say again, thank you for another fantastic round. We had 35 entries in this round, which is an absolutely amazing number of people who have stuck with it from week 1 into week 2. So massive congratulations and thank you for that. It was really great to see like some people who missed the first round felt like they could still take part in the second round, and that's something we always struggle with. So thank you again for making the slam feel like a welcoming and safe and community enough environment for people to feel comfortable dropping in and dropping out, sharing each other's poetry. It's been absolutely incredible. As with last week, I'm going to quickly overview some things that you might have missed, what's going to be coming up in the next week, what the top 10 poets were from round 2. So we're not going to tell you who's in the top 10 overall, but the top 10 from week 2. And then I'm going to be sharing with you a delightful pre-written poem that was generated during this week's Hangout, which happened yesterday. So first of all, things that you might have missed. Quite a few entries again received in the last few days, which received like less than 60 views. So I'm just going to go through those briefly and talk about each of them, and all of the links to them are in the description if you want to go and have a look at some of these great entries which were received later on in the week. The first one, we do not have a name for it, but it's called Never Lose Control, and it is a poem told in a very visual way. I'm not even sure how to describe this. This is kind of just something you have to go and look at. I've checked out the person's channel, and they have like 140 of these short poems accompanied by some kind of rudimentary animation, and it's really interesting. It's like a kind of poetry that I haven't seen before, so definitely check that out. Daisy Rose has the permaculture, which is a wonderful her entry. So you can go and check that out. We had Dathan Horridge, who submitted an untitled poem. But again, that was a tremendous use of wordplay in Dathan's poetry, which I really do encourage you to go and check out. He deserved much more attention than that video got. Upahar Suba submitted a poem called The Rom-Com One, which was this wonderful, charming discussion of like the nature of love and the nature of relationships. The film franchise, absolutely loved. I appreciated that. Definitely have a go and look at that. We had Jim Hall, who had a fantastic poem, A Boy Checks In with His Audience, discussing the nature of masculinity, and that was a really, really amazing poem. We have Jemima Foxtrot, who submitted a poem called It's Amazing What You Can Get on the Internet These Days. That was really great and incorporated elements of singing, and it's also a really well filmed poem as well, so definitely go and check that out. And then we had, and unfortunately I'm drawing a blank on what was going on in that poem, but again, that was another entry that didn't receive as many views as perhaps it should have, because it was submitted later in the week. Definitely go and have a look at Steve's work. I'm sure it was another great poem. Other things that you might have missed this week, we released Joe Bell's lecture. So for those of you who don't know, we are going to be releasing a series of 5 lectures over the course of the slam and the couple weeks afterwards now. We are releasing them around themes of think and create, and they're going to be released. This is our first Think lecture, filmed by Joe Bell, and it is about the nature of permission as a writer. It's about the obstacles that we face and how we can find permission from other people, and how we can find it within ourselves to write well. And it's just, yeah, it's a wonderful thought exercise. There's some homework for you to go away and think about yourself as a writer and as a poet. I really encourage you to go and check it out. The link to that is also in the description. The other thing you might have missed this week is the Google Hangout session. I'm to people who were new to round 2, we did not send an email out for this week's Google Hangouts. We messaged everybody over to Facebook, and we missed a few people. People seem to respond better to Facebook than to email. It's easier to check, so that's what we went with, but we know some people missed it. This week, we are going to be sending emails, so everybody has the link. If you've already been sent the link, it will be the same link again. Please don't share it publicly, because we need to try and make sure that is a safe communal space just with part in the slam. But if you've been sent the link over Facebook or an email because you were part of the first week, it is that same link, and you'll be able to join in from 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. this Sunday UK time, which is GMT +1. I'm really looking forward to it. The Google Hangout session this week was great. We had an entirely different group of people, which is what we wanted. That's why we're rotating the times around so that it becomes easier for people in different countries to come and join us. It was a wonderful session. The poem, it's so strange and it's so wonderful. And yeah, we'll see what you make of it shortly. But that Google Hangout session will be happening this Sunday. You will all be sent Facebook messages about it probably the day before. You will also be emailed about it the day before. And if you are around between 3 and 5 p.m. GMT +1, it'll be absolutely great to see you. What's coming up this week? So we have our first Create lecture, which is either going to be from a spoken word artist called Chris Foley or a spoken word artist called Catherine. I'm not sure which of those is coming out this week, but they are both fantastic lectures about writing and performing and poetry as a career. That is going to be coming out on Wednesday. I really hope you guys can find the time to watch those. As with Joe's, they're just wonderfully filmed. They're full of anecdotes and they're very funny. So absolutely go ahead and check those out if you have time. We're going to be running a performance workshop this Friday. This is being run by me and Amira, who you may recognize from the writing workshop that we ran in the first week. As a performance workshop, this is being run through Google Hangouts because we couldn't see a different way of understanding people's performance techniques and how to have constructive conversations about it without like a dialogue. So places for that are limited just because of the way Google Hangouts works. If you have too many people, it becomes very difficult to use. So there is an Eventbrite, which is also linked in the description. If you are around Friday evening, I'm not sure if it is 3 p.m. I think it's 3 p.m. It should be 3 p.m. on Friday. If not, then it might be 5 p.m. I will double check and mention in the description. And obviously, if you click on the Eventbrite, it will say what time it is on there. So that workshop is going on Friday. Try and come along to that if you can. It should be really fun. And again, we're not focusing so much on how do you become like an amazing performer. Like we're not really we're not trying to say what an amazing performer is. What we're trying to do is increase confidence and increase people's ability to express themselves in a way that feels comfortable to them, but that also they feel comfortable on stage, they feel comfortable performing. It's very much about confidence and self-expression, much more than it is about establishing a specific style of performance poetry. And lastly, of course, we have the Hangout coming up this week. As I've already mentioned that, definitely try and come along on Sunday if you can make it 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. GMT +1. Now then, the thing I know you're all here for. So the top 10 poets from round 2. Again, this is not an aggregate score yet. We're doing all of that behind the scenes. But these are the top 10 poets who took part in round 2 of the slam. Number 10 this week was Tom Crosslands. Very well done, Tom. Number 9 was Midnight Shelley. Number 8 was Jasmine Gardosi. Number 7 was Lindsay Erin. Number 6 was Nicole Murphy. Number 5 was Claire Bold. Number 4 was Sylvian Grumack. Number 3 was Christopher Stewart. Number 2 was Archer RS. And number 1 was Eileen Cummings. So congratulations to all of you who took part this week. Obviously, there were some different tests than expected. So again, it's very much as much as it is a competition, it's a close one. Okay, like we had different people in the top 10 last week and different people this week. So definitely, if any of you are feeling sheepish about entering round 3 because you feel like you can't still be in with a chance of the prize, definitely still do. Like it's still as a competition, there's still everything to get, and as a community, it's just going to be a lot of fun to see everybody's poetry over the next 2 weeks. So please, 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 we've had some of our entries in for round 3 already. I'm hoping we'll get many more over the next 7 days. Great, okay then, so last thing, the free written poem from this week's Google Hangout. This is awful. I think this is worse than the first week, so I had absolutely no idea what to make of this poem. Here we go. So I've got a lot of stuff in my head. Polystyrene cups, playing cards, socks. All the things I've said, like, where's the salt? Am I fat? Is this safe? I can handle that wasabi. Can I eat it? Does this smell bad? But somehow, today the stupid things mean a lot. Crossing over two junctions of prose, a whoopee cushion under your pillow, too scared to sit. Nothing like the smell of grandma's farts to put you to sleep. The buttocks of your head are a lullaby. All the crazy, distorted ideas, leaking sweet methane dreams, light me, baby, like a bovine beacon. My repose is the cause of climate change. In the field of our night together, we can melt the world where butterflies fly backwards, dragonflies are on fire, and cats hang out with dogs. And the snakes slither where you wouldn't want to yell, Alohomora. I wake up in the morning, fecal secretions shaming me into a fresh, new, pungent day. The toilet roll of our lives. Why do natural ways shame me? Perforated, like aloe vera's blushes. The tears of the peanuts are buttery lipsticks. Tomatoes bleed blue, all stuffed in chocolate goodness that actually doesn't taste like chocolate. If we were colonels, we'd be popping. If we were students, we'd be copying. But aren't we students? Students in the school of life, awaiting graduation from this university of existence, wondering if any degree is even worth it. Especially when there was no degree acute enough, no degrees left to get hotter or colder, acute, obtuse, reflex, what distance does it make? Why so many angles? Why so many angles? A simple, straightforward way, isn't that good enough? It's all isosceles to me. Why scale so high to slide down the other side? So that is my dramatic reading of our free written poem. Again, come join in the Google Hangout next week, guys, and you too will be able to play a role in creating such a masterpiece. You guys have an incredible round 3. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of your poems. I know already that we have had one entry which has been translated from Indonesia, which I am thrilled that we have been able to get our hands on. So definitely looking forward to seeing everybody else's poems. It's going to be an incredible week, guys. Yeah, there's just so much that's going to happen, and it's going to be amazing. All right, I'm babbling, so I'm going to leave you guys to it now. Remember to submit your poems, like each other's videos, share each other's videos. Let's keep this community vibe going, and yeah, have a great slam, guys.